Happy June, everyone. What is up? I've got my lavender right here. I love to do this anytime before I'm about to speak, do a class or really just have a conversation where I want to own my voice. Lavender, it's where it's at for the throat chakra. I have the right to speak. I have the right to speak. May I know my voice? May I speak clearly? May I listen to others? May that be the intention of a lifetime, really. I'll talk more about lavender in a bit. But I wanted to check in with you guys. I just got back from Oregon. I was visiting my family and had an epic time. Went to the Redwoods, went to this really awesome blue pool, went hiking with my mama, my dad, and really just got to go hard in nature. Also, I got to do an oil class and really go deep into the holistic health spiritual practices and notice all the stuff that comes up for me, especially when I'm around my family and I want to help, right, so much, and I want to do good and to share all of this stuff with them. But I know that there's a fine line between being helpful and then trying to change someone, and no one wants to feel like you're trying to change them. And so it's a real fine line. And when my dad started calling me professor, I decided to dial it back in and say, okay, I am going to see what it feels like to not give advice, to actually let my family be family, and what would it feel like if I don't have to say something or try to change, etc. And it was really tough, but I can assure you that the practice was so rewarding because the connection between us was so much stronger, just from me not having to go in there and try to use my little control hands and change something, which is just not doing anyone any good. So I got to see all of that. And I really got to see, whenever I take trips like this, I really focus on the impermanence of all existence. The Buddha's staple foundational teaching that everything is subject to change. And because of that, we suffer in this life. And the suffering comes because we're grasping at something that is of the nature to change. So it really hits home. I get on a plane and I look out the window and I just think, right before I'm going on a trip, and I'm just like, okay, before you know it, you're going to be on a very similar plane landing from this trip that you just took in this exact spot. Now tell me, what is going to be most important to you? How will you have changed? What will you have learned? What is the most important message and lesson that you can learn? And it really kind of just tugs at my heartstrings a bit, because I know how precious and how fleeting this existence is, and how this trip is going to be over just like that. And it can either result in me being really upset, like, oh my gosh, life, like I used to do, to something that I had no control over, which is just the nature of the universe, change, death, all of it. And so instead, I've been able to take that recognition and not try to grasp at it as much, and instead be like, okay, this is a precious moment. What is my greatest intention? How can I really show up for myself and my family, and what will matter most to me? So it allows me to kind of just jolt me back into the reality of impermanence, which can really serve as a blessing, and bring you back to the present moment. So when I was there, I can definitely say that I wasn't 100% present all the time. I noticed things, that controlling that I talked about, me needing to change or fix or do something. And it was suffering. I was holding on to a situation and trying to resist what was actually happening, and I was suffering. And so the Buddha didn't only teach that existence is suffering because of that grasping, but that there's actually a way of ending suffering, and that suffering's optional. And so I love that, because I'm like, okay, so we got something to work with here. And the thing about it is, how do you really release yourself from that suffering? And it is by letting go. It is by letting go of craving or denying existence and what is. And it really is a practice that is so much easier said than done, but so worth it, because all the benefits that you get. So I was like, all right, Buddha, I got your number and I'm all in. I'm gonna try to do this. And just seeing it come up in my everyday life, if a relationship falls apart and I'm miserable, right? And I'm sad and I'm grieving, what is that like? It is, I'm mourning something that is of the nature to change. It's not saying that I shouldn't feel sadness. I very much should feel sadness, because that's something that I loved, and this connection I had was beautiful, and it's no longer there. But it's also saying, like, okay, but I don't have to keep myself clinging to this sadness. Like, I can recognize that this sadness, just like the relationship, is going to change. Just like the trip that I took is going to end, and the sadness will eventually become something else. So it's just like a transient nature of existence, and just saying yes to it all frees us to be who we are, and to really live the life we want to live. I really got activated one night when I was around my family, and I was just so irritated. And I did a check-in with myself, and I do the rain meditation, and I'm just like, all right, what's happening? Irritated. Okay, what is this? And I realized that I wasn't seeing the event for the event. I wasn't seeing the person for who they were. I was seeing all of these past associations and experiences that I had compounded with the event. I was not seeing this experience as a new experience just in itself. I created a large story around it, such as, oh my gosh, because this is happening, I have to do this to make blank happy, or I have to control what blank is eating so they can live longer, and I'm scared of losing them. And then, of course, one of my favorite stories is, if I am not able to control this, or if I'm not able to do something, I'm not safe, and I can't be here. And so when I start telling myself that, I can't even see what's happening, I can't even experience my family, or see clearly, because my perception is way skewed, just like many of us are. We have these past conditionings that really filter the way we see the world. And so once I checked in with that, I'm just like, okay, how about if you don't have to change anything, you recognize that you're seeing something that is more clearly. And it really, I love the intention of seeing someone anew, because like everything that is of existence is subject to change. So are we. And so we are not the same person in any given moment. We have changed completely. By the time I'm another person right now. Every moment I'm in flux, I'm changing, and it's liberating. But when we have the fixed ideas of people and events, we can't break out of that. So I was listening to, thank God, I was listening to Tara Brach. I love her podcast. And her talk was on seeing the innate goodness of other people and ourselves. And we can't do that if we're caught up in stories. And how to really tap into the goodness is to see someone anew, to see someone like they're a stranger. And she read this quote by Anthony DeMello, and it was so beautiful. It's from his book, The Way to Love. And it's, think of some people that you like and that you're drawn to. So someone that you have a connection with naturally. And now attempt to look at them as if you're seeing them for the first time, not allowing yourself to be influenced by your past knowledge or your experience of them, whether good or bad. Look for things in them that you may have missed because of familiarity. For familiarity breeds staleness, blindness, and boredom. You cannot love what you cannot see afresh, and you cannot love what you are not constantly discovering anew. And I loved that so much because I was not seeing my family anew in those moments that I got triggered or activated, however you want to say it. Instead, I was seeing those stories and all that stuff I associated with it. I wasn't letting go. You see, I wasn't letting go to the transient nature of existence, of reality. And when I recognized that, I could drop the stories a little bit and just really experience what was happening in my body without compounding it with more stories. And when you enter your body, you're entering presence. And by dropping the agenda, dropping the stories, and just saying yes to what is here right now, we're able to really feel the experience of life. We're able to show up in for our family, for ourselves in ways we didn't know was possible. And we're really able to pay attention. And paying attention is honestly, it's like the most basic form of love. And so we can't do that if we're not present. And we can't be present if we're telling ourselves all these past things. We're living in a virtual reality. So really the practice is, for me, is to truly practice letting go. And how do I let go? I become aware. I become aware of what I'm resisting, and I try to open up to a little bit to it, and I say yes. And through that, I could actually, the last day or two with my family, I could really look at them and practice seeing them anew. And like just looking at someone in their eyes is really intimate and intense. And I love it. I really do. But it's like you're like looking at the divine and you're like honoring the divine in someone. And I just like to look at them in their eyes and look at them like they're, just beautiful mysteries. Like I have no idea who you are and you're constantly changing, but I know your goodness. I see your goodness and I know your love. And the cool thing about that is not only are they changing, but we're changing. We're just beautiful mysteries that are constantly in flux together. And really, the intention is to see each other as strangers. And so that was kind of what I really took away from the trip, and just the amount of love that I got to experience and having that closeness and getting real with my family and getting real with myself about what was actually going on inside of me and what I was seeing. Step one, pausing, acknowledging, and attending to it with kindness. Only then can you start to show up. So it is such a lifelong practice, but the path is so real and so rewarding. So I really encourage all of you just to take, a moment and check in with yourself and just say like, what's going on inside of me right now? And like, whatever comes up, just feeling it in your body, feeling it, whether it's your chest. I have like third eye things going on where I'm like thinking so much. My micro muscles kind of just like, and so like just feeling it, not having to compound it with more stories, but literally inhabiting the felt experience of whatever is going on. And then just saying, if you can let go just a little bit, open your shoulders, just breathe. And then open your eyes and recognize the difference of being caught up in a story and actually being here with this experience and being able to be present with yourself and show yourself and other people love. So I really want to work on seeing everyone anew and just really give my love and appreciation and honor the changing nature of everything, and like bowing to it and thanking whomever and whatever experience for what I learned and for our time together, because it is so precious. So I hope you all are doing wonderfully and you got something out of that. And know that you can reach out to me if you have any questions about oils, meditation, workshops, etc. I am offering Ayurvedic consultations discounted this month, and actually July and August too. So we kind of can work with meditation and oils really in that consultation. So just message me if you have any questions. I did have some diffuser blends that I want. It's about to be a new moon tomorrow. New moon, new energy, great time to really set goals and intentions. So this is really a powerful moment. One of my favorite diffuser blends for really like honoring, like letting go, and releasing what's no longer serving you is Siberian fir and lemongrass. So you can diffuse that, and you don't even have to be in the room, and that's just clearing away like stagnant energy. Also classic sage. I have sage behind me too. And I love doing Siberian fir on my spine and just being like, release, release, release. It's very cooling and it just opens you up completely. So Siberian fir, lemongrass, to rewire with vibrations of love. You can do, after you clear your rooms, you could do Douglas fir, lemongrass, and eucalyptus. And that's a really, really sweet blend. Any of the heart opener oils would be really good too. So I got my mom some geranium this month, and I showed her how to use it. You can do geranium, breathe, eucalyptus, anything that would open, rose. Oh my gosh, rose, yes. And just roll it or do a drop on your hands and do this and just kind of on your heart center and just say, like, just like I said, the right for the third chakra, you can say the right for your heart chakra. And is, I have the right to love. I have the right to love. And just feel that. I have the right to love. I have the right to be loved. And just be with yourself. If you really want to take it to that next level, you can do some drops in your bathtub and just feel what it would be like to be covered in love. To be covered in love. And I like to hug myself too, so I recommend doing that one too. Releases oxytocin, or just even like the visual image of a hug will get those love hormones pumping, because that's really what we all deserve, is love and connection. And that's really all I have for you guys. I mean, what else could you really want, right? Love and connection. And I'm sending you, so much love. Oh, I forgot about the lavender, the throat chakra. This one's actually free this month. If you do your LRP through your wholesale account by the 15th and you have 125 PV, you get this one for free. Another oil, I have my little station over here where I'm like, all my little goodie bags. I don't even know where most of the stuff is because it's rolling around, but I will find it. Fennel is 10% off this month, and that's like a really empowering oil to roll on the inside of your wrists every morning. Really good for your digestive system too. And if you don't have your own wholesale account yet and you want to, get with me and I can show you how to become eligible to get a free lifelong vitality pack. So gotta have the supplementation, gotta have the gut health, gotta have the energy body, all of it really working together to experience this life fully. So I love you all. May you be happy. May you be free. May you know love, and may you be loved. I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.